And I said, bounce the graviton particle beam off the main deflector dish. That's the way we do things, lad. We're making shit up as we wish. Klingons and Romulans, they pose no threat to us.
Is a TV show ever just a TV show? In the majority of cases, the answer is yes. But in some very notable cases, mainly in genre TV, a simple TV show can spawn whole communities of fans. One of the oldest genre shows to receive this treatment is Star Trek. Trek has been around for almost 50 years now. It has had 5 television shows, 10 movies, plus 2 reboot films, and its fandom is as strong as ever. Even smaller shows like Firefly have garnered a large fan base that's still passionate about the show over 10 years after it went off the air. All of which I think brings us to today's entry, Galaxy Quest. The stars of a fated sci-fi TV show, Galaxy Quest, are taken by an alien race called the Thermians, who believe that the show was a historical record of the voyages of a real spaceship. Now the crew of the NSEA Protector must face off against ruthless alien warlord Saris and save their fans from annihilation. And with any luck, their careers as well. This movie is operating on a lot of different levels. On the one hand, it's a fun sci-fi action comedy. On the other hand, it's a loving parody of Star Trek and other shows like it. It's got all the elements of early Trek: the overconfident commander, the bridge bunny, the alien sidekick, the tech guy, and the young pilot. It even has dangerous inner workings that really have no place on any real spaceship, but they look awfully cool in the show. There's a lot of Star Trek references throughout the movie. You can almost make a drinking game out of it. And it's kind of fun to spot all the little references that they cram in. And if you've ever wondered what that transporter accident from the first Star Trek movie looked like from the other end, you'll find out here. Just put the popcorn aside during that scene. The cast is excellent in their roles, both as the actors and as the characters they're supposed to be portraying. Tim Allen brings just the right amount of swagger to the role of Jason Nesmith, the actor who played the commander and finds himself in way over his head. Alan Rickman plays Alexander Dane, a classically trained actor who finds himself still playing the alien sidekick after 18 years, complete with an overused catchphrase.
My grandfather's hammer, you shall be avenged.
Rickman does a wonderful job with plenty of snide commentary and not so subtle digs at Alan's character. Sam Rockwell plays Guy, an actor who was on one episode of the show. He was that one red shirt that died before the opening credits, and he spends most of the movie panicking about the various ways he could die.
I thought I was the crewman that stays on the ship and something is up there and it kills me. But now I'm thinking I'm the guy who gets killed by some monster 5 minutes after we land on the planet.
You're not gonna die on the planet, Guy.
I'm not? What's my last name?
It's, I don't know.
Nobody knows. Do you know why? Because my character isn't important enough for a last name. Because I'm gonna die 5 minutes in.
Guy, you have a last name.
Do I? Do I?
Yes.
For all you know, I'm just crewman number 6. Baby.
It's a fun performance and one of the highlights of the film. Tony Shalhoub, who plays everything in this hazy, sort of almost hippie-like detachedness, is excellent as Fred Kwan, who's obviously dealing with the situation better than his co-stars. I could sit here and go through the whole cast, and there doesn't seem to really be a dud in the bunch. But I'm just going to mention one more performance. Sigourney Weaver as Bridge Bunny Gwenda Marco. Weaver doesn't do comedy too often, which is a shame because she's very good here. Props as well for whoever decided that the Thermians should run and walk the way they do. It really makes them feel like an alien race and adds a touch of believability to the movie. Comedy is a very subjective thing. For my part, the beginning of Galaxy Quest is a bit slow and some of the comedy feels a little forced and awkward. Some people might find scenes of the crew reluctantly shilling for an electronics store or scenes of them half-assedly dealing with fans funny, but I couldn't help but feel a lot of secondhand embarrassment during those scenes. One thing I will say in the movie's favor is that they don't take too many pot shots at the fan characters. It would be very easy in a film like this to make the fans your typical mouth-breathing, basement-dwelling losers, but they don't really do that here. They make these fans and their obsessive study of the show a key part of the plot. Fan theories even get some respect here, so even if some of the early stuff feels a bit awkward, there isn't a sense that the filmmakers are taking cheap shots. I think it says a lot about the quality of this movie when the actors from the franchise that it's parodying have given it their seal of approval. Will Wheaton is even quoted as saying that he would have liked to have been in the movie. On a meta level, this movie is a really interesting look at how the media we consume can shape us. Science fiction works best when it holds a mirror up to nature, as Shakespeare put it. Science fiction can show us the best of ourselves and even shows where we could potentially go wrong if we aren't careful. Galaxy Quest comes thoroughly recommended for sci-fi fans in general and Trekkies in particular. Or is that Trekkers? Anyway, yes, this one's been talked about as one of the best sci-fi comedies ever, and there's a very good reason for that. The deluxe edition DVD is pretty good for the small amount that you pay for it. There's plenty of special features, including some pretty good deleted scenes and Sigourney Weaver rapping, for what that's worth. Overall, this is a very good, very funny movie that says a lot about sci-fi, its fans, and how stories can inspire us. I'll let Isaac Asimov, by way of Stargate SG-1's 200th episode, have the last word here.
Science fiction is an existential metaphor. It allows us to tell stories about the human condition. Isaac Asimov once said, individual science fiction stories may seem as trivial as ever to the blinder critics and philosophers of today. But the core of science fiction, its essence, has become crucial to our salvation, if we are to be saved at all.